This is a podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
98FM. I'm Adrian Kennedy, and that man there is Jeremy.
Yes, how are things?
Good, thank you. Yeah,
Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's great. Everything is really, really good.
Now, our first story we have for you is something that I've a big bee in my bonnet about. I hate to see it around the city centre. I think it makes the city centre look ghetto, doesn't it?
It's not like it's unique to Dublin. There are some cities that are an awful lot worse than Dublin.
Well, what do you think? To yourselves listening at the moment, when I mention the word graffiti artist, what does that make you think of? Because even the word graffiti artist, you're not an artist. I think we need to stop calling them graffiti artists. You are nothing but a vandal. That's all you are. It's vandalism. It is vandalism.
I know, but it is a form of art. No matter what way you want to look at it, it's a form of art.
That's like saying a child drawing a hopscotch on the ground is a form of art. It's not a form of art.
It is a form of art.
No, it's not.
It is,
it's
because
vandalism.
some of them are actually very well done. Well, a judge was none too impressed. A judge has told a graphic designer who tagged a Starbucks cafe in Dublin to go back to college because his graffiti was not a work of art.
Now, would you explain to me what tagging means? Because if you're not into the whole graffiti thing, you won't know what tagging means.
I think most people know what tagging is.
I don't think they do.
It's putting your logo, basically. So if you're a graffiti artist, you have your own little logo, and that's your tag, basically. Well, anyway, this Gareth Merrin from Kimmage Road in Kimmage Road West in Dublin pleaded guilty to criminal damage on Lower Liffey Street on December 4th. Judge Anthony Halpin heard at Dublin District Court that the accused was seen by Gardaí spraying graffiti on the cafe's shutters, which cost €150 to clean. Now, the judge noted that the defendant, who had no prior criminal convictions, was cooperative. I think he has to go back to college. That is not even artistic. So the judge obviously looked at his tag and said, that's rubbish.
Here's the thing I don't get.
I've seen some graffiti tags which are very
Here's the thing I don't get
well
about
done.
People like Gareth. What's his name? Gareth Merrin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Merrin.
Here's a message to you, Gareth, if you're listening. First of all, you're nothing but a hooligan. That's hooliganism and vandalism. It's hooliganism and vandalism.
Hooliganism is beating people up.
No, it's not.
It is.
Hooliganism is a general word for someone.
He caused no harm to any other human being.
He caused harm to a business. Here's the thing, Gareth. If
£150, like, relax there.
No, but my point to all you graffiti artists is, if you think your art is that pretty, why don't you do the side of your own house? Because I can guarantee you, if you went to one of their houses, there's not graffiti tags. Does Gareth have a graffiti tag on the side of his house?
I don't know.
Or on his front window?
I wouldn't think so.
Or on his hall door?
I doubt it.
No.
But
So why don't they graffiti their own houses?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I actually have seen some graffiti tags that are utter rubbish, but I've seen others.
How do they do those ones, by the way? You know when you're driving along the M50, and you know those big bridges that go across the M50 with the signs saying airport and Balbriggan and all that, yeah? How the hell did they get graffiti up on those? How did they climb up there?
I actually don't know. I think that's an art in itself.
When did they do that?
I don't
Because
know.
I've never ever seen. Honestly, if you're driving along the M50 and those big huge signs that go over the M50, they're really high in the sky, you'll see graffiti sprayed all over them. How did he get up there?
It's very dangerous. Let's just say.
Well, I think that's
that way.
obvious.
But like I was saying, I actually think some graffiti is art. It's extremely intricate. The colours and everything that go into it are
You're
brilliant.
just saying that to...
No, I actually do. I think some of the locations they pick are... but, I mean, if it's a blank wall, what harm are they doing?
Because it looks ghetto.
But every city has graffiti.
Only
Every single city in the world has graffiti.
So is someone...
when you go to New York and they spray the bloody side of the trains, for God's sake.
Is someone typing pigs out? Is that graffiti?
No, that's rubbish. That's mindless rubbish.
So what's the difference?
Some graffiti is artful.
Okay, let's do a very quick poll. I want all of you to get involved in this to find out how people feel about this. It's a simple question. Is graffiti art or vandalism?
Okay, so just text the word art or the word vandalism.
This should be fun now. People trying to spell vandalism. Well, I'd let them know how to spell it. V-A-N-D-A... Oh, jeez, how do you spell it?
V-A-N-D-A-L-I-S-M.
Is that how you spell it?
Yeah, vandalism. So just text art or vandalism to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Now, I haven't seen this guy's tag, this Gareth Merrin fella. I haven't seen his tag, so I don't know how artful it is.
What gave Gareth the right to think that he could spray his tag on Starbucks? What gave him that right to think that? Well, nobody wants to see your stupid tag.
Okay, text the word art or vandalism to 0877 98 98 98. I don't know how you feel about this.
I think most people are just going to type art because it's an easier word to spell. Isn't it, though? It just takes so little effort just to go art, doesn't it? No, honestly, what do we say? Your honest thoughts, isn't it?
Yes, your honest thoughts. So text art or vandalism to 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. Is graffiti art or vandalism?
Why don't you get one of these artists, by the way? The only thing these artists are good at doing, or good at drawing, by the way, is drawing the dough. Because they'll never make anything out of their lives, any of these graffiti artists. Would you hire someone who's a graffiti artist?
Sorry, this guy is actually a graphic designer.
I'm not necessarily talking about him. I'm talking about graffiti vandals in general. They're generally, aren't they, layabouts?
No, I don't think so. No, I actually think they're creative people.
No, crusties, that's all they are. They've never had a job. They are crusties.
Ed, you actually believe it is vandalism and nothing more and nothing less?
Pure and simple vandalism and buggery.
Jeez, I can't believe Ed is agreeing with me. What's the world coming to?
I know. Stranger things happening now to happen.
But you're right, doesn't it make areas look ghettoised?
It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not like Dublin is the only city in the world that has graffiti. Every single city you go to has graffiti.
But you see, when you have these businesses that have been tagged by these assholes, they then have to spend hundreds, possibly thousands of euro having the graffiti removed and painted over. Who pays that?
Well, in this particular story that we're talking about from the paper today, it cost Starbucks 150 quid to repaint it.
Well, he should end up paying the bill.
Yeah, he did, actually. He did. He had 150 euro in court and he was ordered to pay it as compensation. So, yeah, he did.
I'm just looking at some of the photographs as well, Ed. A lot of the darts have been targeted over the last couple of years when they're parked in Fairview. And I mean, okay, they can do bubble letters. I was able to do a bubble. That was one of the first things you learned in school, how to do a bubble letter of your name, isn't it?
Well, they're bubble heads, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Stephen disagrees. Stephen, you actually think it is art depending on the location?
Yeah, absolutely, Adrian. And I remind you of a chap called Banksy from London.
Yep.
This stuff goes for millions, some of it.
And you would definitely class Banksy as an artist. He's a very creative guy.
Oh, there's some of them now you see is brilliant, and especially in the States and all that. And if they build walls and all for them over there to do it, so they don't do it on private property. So they should do that over here, build them walls, or let them do it on the building sites with the wooden stuff around that protects people.
Well, no, why don't they do it on their own house? Well, they all have
nobody goes by their house. It's all about getting your name noticed, Jeremy.
Yeah, so it's attention seeking.
So, like,
of course.
Okay, what is wrong with, say, for example, and you see this in loads of cities, the walls along the side of a railway line? No use to anybody, doing nothing. They're just bland walls. What's wrong with graffitiing them?
It looks ghetto.
Well, Adrian, would you rather them shooting up heroin at the back of the wall or painting on it?
That's a ridiculous thing to say. We can't always make that argument. Would you rather they shot heroin? That's ridiculous.
But what do you want kids to do, Jeremy? You'd be moaning if they were doing nothing else. So I'd rather them painting on the wall doing something artistic than doing something nothing. You know what I mean?
Again, I put the question to you, Stephen. Why don't they do it on their own back wall?
No, well, I just said to you, they need... Because nobody's going to walk by that back wall. I told you, it's about getting your name noticed.
So it's attention-seeking vandalism.
No,
that's what it is.
Hang on, no, it's getting your name out there, and like Stephen said,
the bull is that?
Some of the stuff that guy Banksy. Now he would be a world famous graffiti artist, known all over the world now, but his stuff, like we said, goes for millions.
I've never even heard of him, to be honest with you.
He sold a wall of him, Adrian, there, of the I don't know what the name of the scene is, but it's about the punk rocker looking down at the school kids. You ever see that from the 80s?
I'm looking at it now, actually, believe it or not.
Well, I'm looking at a picture of it.
Went for $250,000 about 10 years ago.
I'm looking at a picture of Inroad Éireann train, and lovely train, and it's parked in the station, and on the front of the train is somebody's tag. Is somebody's
Well, it's
tag.
funny you should mention that, Adrian. My father is the main electrician in Fairview, so he knows all about the fucking graffiti.
So I'm sure he's fed up with cleaning the car, having to get
Well,
the...
he doesn't clean it, but yeah, he's fed up with it, all right. But that's what I'm saying to you. It's good in certain places, but it's vandalism in other areas.
Okay, now, Jackie, you think it is art in the majority of cases?
Yes, I do indeed. You know, a lot of these young people graffiti artists, they do know their law and where, you know, they should and shouldn't be doing this art form.
So, yeah, the side of a train parked in Fairview, they know that's not the right place to do it, but that's...
It's legally okay.
What? It's not legally okay to graffiti a train.
Oh, no, sorry, you're right. No, sorry, I beg your pardon.
But
So do you think more areas should be set aside for people to practice their art of graffiti?
Absolutely.
Oh, please,
absolutely.
lads, buy them a big sheet of paper and let them practice their art at home.
That's quite rude.
No, it's not quite.
It is quite rude.
No, what's quite rude, Jackie? What's quite rude, Jackie, is people thinking they have the right to spray walls that are public. That's rude. How would you like if I could...
But that is actually that's your opinion,
No,
you know.
but
I mean,
okay, but Jackie, let's put this. There's
a difference between scrawling and just writing stupid names and logos, you know.
I'm very good, Jackie, at doing my name in bubble writing. You know those big bubble writing. No. To work with me here. Don't laugh. This is serious. I'm very good at doing my name, Jeremy, or Jez. Jez would be my tag name. I'm very good at doing the word Jez in bubble writing. Can I come along to your house later on and spray paint my name on the side of your wall?
But you probably don't have the skill to do it.
I
in
do
spray
have the
paint.
skill to do it.
No, not in spray paint.
It doesn't matter.
That's a unique art in itself.
So would you like the side of your house all spray painted with graffiti?
No, particularly.
Of course
but
not.
if you look around the city and if you see the really, really good art, it's not done on roller shutter blinds or on the front doors of people's buildings or on the walls of their property. You will see they're done in very kind of secluded places.
Okay, but John just texted us in to say, I work for Irish Rail and it costs us thousands a month to clean the trains after them.
Yeah, of course it does.
I'm sure you don't support that sort of graffiti.
No, I don't. No, I don't support that.
No, I'm not putting graffiti artists, Jackie, in the same category as these people who write on the back of toilet doors for a good time. Ring Adrian 086. Those people are brain dead morons.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's all vandalism.
Yeah, well, technically, I suppose there isn't much of a muchness really there, But I basically believe, it's the good stuff is tasteful. Okay, it is actually tasteful. It's very beautiful. The colours are amazing, and the scale, the
But you wouldn't want it on a wall in your housing estate.
You wouldn't. It depends.
No, you wouldn't, Jackie. You wouldn't, because I'm telling you one thing. I would not buy a house in a housing estate that had graffiti all over the walls. You wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I would love to get some of those lads into my house and do murals on my walls in every room. I'd love that.
What, do you live in the Sistine Chapel or something? Who has murals on their walls? I bet
they're well capable.
Well, okay,
they're well capable.
I was asking a second ago, should we have more areas set aside for graffiti artists? And your immediate answer, Jeremy, was no.
Absolutely.
No, I think we should as well. Because
absolutely. Well, it's like anything.
Okay, Mick just sent me in this text and he says, so we build football pitches, basketball courts, tennis courts, but if a kid hates sport, who cares? Tough luck.
No, that's wrong.
And we should set aside more areas.
And that's why so many young kids are committing crimes these days.
Jackie,
that's
no,
Jackie, I can't say it's because there's not enough walls to spray paint. I don't think that's the reason.
No, kids are committing crimes because they're little shits that haven't been brought up properly by their parents, Jackie. That's a simple answer to that.
Now, you described it as making an area look ghetto. Sean, you actually love seeing graffiti.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I lived in London, and that kind of sparked it off the interest. I was moved to London, and it was just covered in it, and it's great. It's very interesting subculture, and the places they get to. It's the adventurous spirit that I suppose attracts me, And
yeah, but I bet you didn't live in Notting Hill now in London, or you didn't live in Wimbledon. You probably lived in a ghetto part of London because you wouldn't see graffiti in those parts of London.
You see graffiti in every part of London.
No, you don't.
Yes, you absolutely do.
You mentioned Notting Hill. That's actually that's kind of a hip area, and that's where it originated. It originated in New York originally, but about 86 it came to Notting Hill. So, you know.
So you actually think it livens up an area?
Oh yeah, like especially on the dark. Like you know when you're sitting on the dark and you've nothing really to be doing, it's kind of good to look out the window and you see all this beautiful, creative, colourful artwork.
My God.
You know.
You obviously view art different to the way most people view art.
But if you see some decent graffiti, can you not look at it and appreciate? Jesus, that took a lot of work.
I just look at it and think that fella should be behind bars for vandalising and defacing public property.
And like it's so elusive, you'd wonder how these guys can do it. They must do it in the dead of night. I've never actually seen anyone ever in Dublin.
No, nor have I. I think that's part of the skill, if you want to call it that. That they get to the most bizarre places and nobody ever sees them doing it.
Yeah, like, and some guys you see the name over and over again, and you've seen it for years. You wonder how these people never caught it. There's something very, dangerous and attractive about it.
Now, I do think, and somebody just texted in, they do scribble absolute rubbish on roller shutters in the city centre, and I agree, because in the city centre, they're just literally going and running. And that does make the place look awful. But I do believe that we should have more walls set aside for people to practice their art of graffiti.
Are you actually saying that?
Yeah, no, I genuinely am, yeah. Because I do believe some of them...
Sorry, if you became any more lefty, you'll actually fall off the table there.
Some of the people who are doing graffiti are extremely talented people.
Oh my God, let's give walls to graffiti.
Yep.
Let's give walls to vandals.
Yep.
You know what else we should do, actually? I want to chair a motion now. We should give free cars to joyriders.
No, you're being ridiculous now.
No, Adrian wants the taxpayer to pay for free cars for joyriders.
You're being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous.
And you know what else we should do, Adrian? You know what we'll do? We'll set aside a big plot of land in the Phoenix Park.
Here, Windmill Lane was famous for years for their graffiti wall.
Let me work this through.
Famous for years for the graffiti wall. What harm would it be to set aside more walls?
And what harm would it be to give half of the Phoenix Park to joyriders and they can?
You're being ridiculous
again. No. It's a fair analogy, Adrian.
98 FM. This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98 FM.
People were asked, what is the best day or what was the happiest day of your life ever? And the answers varied depending on whether it was a man or a woman that was asked the question. Okay, I don't want you to shout out, Adrian, what you think it was. But there was a clear winner as to what was the happiest day of your life.